Good evening, Richmond County and beyond. Welcome into another edition of Live at 5. I'm Kyle Pillar.
And I'm Russell Parker.
As the managing editor of the Richmond Observer, I've made an executive decision to get rid of our terrible news anchors, Lance Jenkins and Kelsey Rushing. Isn't that right, Russell?
Yes. Good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. Just kidding. Live at 5 starts right now.
Welcome back to another edition of Live at 5. I'm Lance Jenkins.
And I'm Kelsey Rushing.
Want to remind everyone before we begin tonight's news that I've just been handed this piece. Hurricane Irma relief still underway. Obviously, that's actually 15 million people without power right now on the west coast of Florida. That is unbelievable. And of course, Area of Richmond Transit Director who joined us yesterday, Neil Peacock, is leading an effort along with his father to put goods together so they can take to Florida for the people in need this weekend. Remember, we talked about this on yesterday's episode. If you did not see that, you want to make a monetary donation or you want to drop off products, you can drop them off at New Vision Free Will Baptist Church. They'll be collecting items until Saturday, September the 16th. So folks, do encourage you to help out the folks who are in need. The Carolinas, including this area, are certainly no stranger to hurricanes and named storms that have passed through this region before, and I know other people across the nation have stepped up to help us. We want to do the same thing for the folks in Florida and, of course, and also in Texas who are still recovering from Hurricane Harvey. Again, folks, you want to be a part of that effort. Drop your items off at New Vision Free Will Baptist up until Saturday, September 16th, located in East Rockingham. And with that, now for tonight's top stories.
Power went out last night for hundreds of homes in the county, largely due to a downed tree in Washington Street Extension near Richmond Senior High School. PD Electric and North Carolina Department of Transportation worked tirelessly overnight to restore power and remove the tree. And by 11 p.m., most homes that had originally lost their power had it restored. Wind gusts were strong overnight, but the remnants of Hurricane Irma left a majority of the area unharmed in comparison to the devastating effects the named storm had on Florida and other portions of the southeast.
Our coverage continues tonight of the annual Dancing with the Stars and Taste of the Sandhills event that benefits Richmond County Hospice each year. And the full recap of the event is now available at richmondobserver.com. One thing we have not mentioned yet on the show is that the Tasty Award was awarded to #1 Diner, located south of Rockingham on U.S. Highway 1. And just for the record, this is definitely not on the teleprompter, but that is some of the best chicken and dumplings and stuffing and gravy I have ever had in my life. Congratulations to #1 Diner for winning the Tasty Award at the Taste of the Sandhills event. And for a full recap of the Dancing with the Stars and Taste of the Sandhills event, remember, you can read the whole story on richmondobserver.com.
The United Way of Richmond County kicks off its annual campaign Friday, September 22nd, with its Day of Caring, bringing volunteers from all corners of the county together to work on 9 community projects. The event will begin around 7:30 a.m. at the Richmond Community College's Co-Auditorium, where 17 partnering agencies will set up and share their program work with the community. United Way has added a new partnering agency this year in PD Pregnancy Resource Center.
Michelle Parrish, United Way of Richmond County Executive Director, said it's the organization's 8th annual Day of Caring and its 51st campaign kickoff. She also noted the United Way Board of Directors will reveal the 2017-2018 campaign goal at 9 a.m. before offering closing remarks. Last year, the campaign raised over $325,000. There's a proverb that states the trick to aging gracefully is to enjoy it, and the Hamlet Senior Center proved it to be true with its first health fair. Held Thursday in the Senior Center's backyard by the Hamlet City Lake, the health fair kicked off at 10:30 a.m. and lasted until 3 p.m. With the support and partnerships of several community vendors, approximately 150 senior citizens attended, and the event proved to be a major success. Popcorn and hot dogs donated by Highway 55 of Rockingham were in abundance, as volunteers from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office cooked and served for the many seniors in attendance.
BB&T Bank donated water and Cheerwine donated sodas. Vendors from throughout Richmond County and surrounding counties lined the parking circle as they provided information and free services to the guests. Rite Aid of Lombard, North Carolina provided free vaccinations for seniors and city employees. First Health advertised the event and offered free glucose screenings, and the North Carolina Lions Club was on their site with their vision and hearing van that offered free screenings.
The Hamlet Senior Center has a host of upcoming events and classes, including a series focused on concerns about falling and increasing activity called Matter of Balance, a free diabetes education class, canvas painting, and basket weaving. Hamlet Senior Center is located at 102 Veterans Drive in Hamlet. And for more information, check out their website at www.hamletnc.us/senior center or contact Director Nikki Sewell or any staff members at 910-582-7985.
For Richmond County residents looking to scavenge out something fun to do locally, Richmond Young Professionals will be hosting its inaugural Chamber Chase event. The county-wide scavenger hunt hosted by RYP and Richmond County Chamber of Commerce will challenge participants to seek out clues at local destinations on Saturday, September 16th. What can be described as a unique event, Chamber Chase will test a person's knowledge of Richmond County history, local businesses, and evoke one's geographic prowess. Starting at Rockingham Middle School at 8 a.m., teams of up to 4 people will race against each other to complete the course and finish back at the school.
Now for your Tuesday accident report. At 6:15 p.m. on Monday afternoon, Rockingham Fire Department was dispatched to a vehicle accident at the intersection of Leek Street and South Hancock Street near downtown Rockingham. After the initial collision, it was reported that one of the vehicles involved left the scene. Following a brief investigation, the Richmond County Sheriff's Department apprehended the suspected driver who had fled the scene. The alleged fleeing driver was found a few blocks away from the crash site. The occupant of the other vehicle was transported to the hospital by First Health Richmond EMS. Rockingham Police Department is investigating the accident, and the Richmond Observer will follow up this incident as more information is released. I think the Chamber Chase is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, Richmond Young Professionals, they do a great job. And this is really out-of-the-box event, out-of-the-box thinking, but it's really neat. I think it's going to be fun.
It really is. With the history and then the businesses and then everything with the geography for Richmond County, there's a lot to explore, especially with the historical district. There's so much there that people don't know about. So that, like, when you see the signs that it say everything, like what happened in this general spot, those are good for this.
Right, and it's certainly going to be a fun event, Chamber Chase. Richmond Young Professionals putting that on this Saturday. There's still time to sign up. And of course, you can check out richmondobserver.com, read the full story to find out how you can sign up for this really exciting event. All right, folks, when we come back, Russell Parker, executive producer, live at 5 in the house to talk about NASCAR and the playoffs coming up, and of course, college football. We'll be right back. Russell Parker will be joining us right after these messages.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is a specialty retail store in downtown Rockingham, in the heart of Richmond County. We are all about rustic, farm-style home decor and gifts. We offer a variety of antique, vintage, and new items. We love helping you make your house a home with unique, one-of-a-kind finds. We also have specialty gifts for all occasions.
And welcome back to Live at 5. And of course, we are joined now live in studio by the man behind the camera, always running the program around here. And of course, he joins us in front of the camera tonight, Live at 5 executive producer Russell Parker. Russell, glad to have you in the house.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So let's talk about NASCAR and college football, and let's start with NASCAR.
All
So
right.
the end of the regular season for the Monster Energy Cup Series.
Yep.
Am I right there yet? You're the NASCAR expert, not
Yes.
me. So that ended this past week. Is that right, in Richmond?
Yeah, so Richmond Raceway had the the regular season finale, where it was Kyle Larson who won the race. By the end, 16 drivers made into the playoffs. Truex Jr. leading them with like 20, I think it's 20 points he's leading right now from the cutoff line. So they go to Chicagoland Speedway this Sunday, and they'll start the playoffs.
So for the casual NASCAR fan, how close is the second and the third? How far ahead is Martin Truex Jr.?
Yeah, so he's like 20 points ahead of the cutoff line, so
Right.
he's got a lot.
But I mean,
more to go.
I was gonna say, how far ahead is that? And just for folks who don't understand NASCAR as well, he's got a pretty solid lead.
Yeah, for the playoffs, it's actually really good because after Richmond, after the regular season, they reset all the points for top 16 drivers. They go to reset 2,000 points, and for every playoff point and every win, which gave them 5 playoff points, that gets totaled up into the postseason. That's why Truex has 20 points, and someone like like Kevin Harvick might have like 16 or something like that. So it's all about how you did in regular season that contributes into the postseason.
Right, and of course, your man Joey Logano, he didn't make the chase, did he?
Unfortunately, he was in a position where he had to win the race, and he was one position behind that. So he finished second.
This past weekend.
Yes.
So wow, gosh, that's got to be gut wrenching.
It was the whole race. I was on the edge of my seat, just like I was paying so much close attention to him, like where he was at the whole time. Go to the commercial. I put up on the laptop, see his car camera, find out what he's doing, and he made good progress as the race went on, but he just ran out of laps.
Yeah, of course. So he'll still be racing, but not for the chase.
Yeah, he actually said on TV that he will be winning the next 10 races. That's what he said.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
Well, how about that? We'll see if he can put his money
Yeah.
where his mouth is. And, of course, Joey Logano, Russell Parker, our executive producer's favorite racer, following him closely in the next 10 races, despite the fact that he's not eligible to win the Cup.
Yeah,
It'll be
that
interesting to
actually
see.
makes my decision on who I think will win the championship a
All
little
right.
less biased now.
Well, let's talk about that. Who do you think is going to win this thing?
You know, I've been looking at Truex, Martin Truex Jr. He is so determined this year. And I know him and his wife have been through a lot because his wife has cancer, and they've gone through so many treatments with that. And they've both been battling their battles together with that and with racing. And this year, he's been so determined to win this year. You can just see it in his eyes. I think he's going to get it this
So
year.
you got Martin Truex Jr. I actually agree with you. I think he will win the Cup this year. We'll see what happens. But of course, let's talk about the Truck Series, the Xfinity
Yeah.
Truck Series.
So this week as well, as the playoffs for the Cup Series will be starting Sunday, Saturday the trucks and the Xfinity Series will be concluding their regular season. So they got guys like William Byron and Elliott Sadler. William Byron will be taking over the 24 car next year in the Cup Series. Him and Elliott Sadler are leading right now in the points, but guys like Dakota Armstrong, who's 25 points behind the cutoff line, he needs to win or at least finish 25 spots ahead of the guy who's in 12th.
Of course.
And the Xfinity Series, that was actually Xfinity Series, my bad. Truck Series, Ryan Truex is actually 7 points behind the cutoff line, so he needs to finish well ahead of that or win the race.
Right, so it's a lot to still be determined there. You talk about Elliott Sadler. Elliott Sadler is actually from Emporia, Virginia, which is, I bet you, 30 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh, wow.
In North Carolina, yeah, right at the Virginia line, North Carolina line, and of course I'm right below the North Carolina Virginia line where I grew up in a small town called Jackson. So the Sadler's big presence up in that area, and of course Hermie, you may know Hermie or have heard of Hermie before.
Yeah.
Hermie's from that area. Of course, Elliott's probably the most famous driver from that area. But and you said Elliott is racing the Truck Series, it's Xfinity Series. Xfinity Series. Yeah.
He's had some on and off seasons. He was with Joe Gibbs. I don't want to say it was either last year or a few years ago. Now he's driving for a Chevrolet team, and they have been on roll. He's probably going to win it as well because he's been like Truex, determined.
Now, any chance that your favorite racer, Kyle Busch, is able to get the win?
I don't know about favorite, but I do. He's got a lot of determination in him as well. And I think he can make it all the way to the championship for at Homestead.
Certainly stands a good chance.
Yeah.
And drives Toyota. Just saying.
Yeah.
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 Big fan of Toyota. So, but anyway, no.
I'm a Ford fan.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is Joey Logano drive Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes good sense. Well, a lot going on in NASCAR, and of course, folks around here always been interested in NASCAR. Of course, Speedway,
Yep.
which I'd love to see get up and going
I
again.
would love it. I'm probably the biggest advocate for getting that track back.
Yeah, I would
going
love
again.
to see that track going back again, and it'd be neat to see. But a lot of racing fans around here. So there's your NASCAR update. The playoffs, the chase for the Cup starts this week.
Yep. Well, it's not a chase anymore. It's the playoffs.
Excuse me, yeah. You see
they-
how out of
yeah.
touch I am. Yeah, but
Yeah.
but now we're getting ready to talk about something I'm not out of touch on, and of course you know all about it. College football. Big first 2 weeks in college football,
Yeah.
and of course, with Alabama taking that big loss this past weekend.
You need to get your facts straight there, Lance.
I'm just kidding. So you Alabama, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
You're a big fan, and they look like the strongest team in the country still.
Yes, the opening week they beat Florida State 24-7. Me and my friend, we were not friends that day, to
Yeah.
say the least.
So he's
But,
a Florida State fan.
Yes,
Yeah.
big Florida State fan. But we won that game, and I know the SEC had beaten the ACC 10-0 as far as games go the opening week. But then you come around second week, and then Auburn loses to Clemson.
Right.
So now Clemson has.
You just had to sneak that in there,
Yeah.
didn't you? You're not a big fan of Auburn. So and I actually had an associate pastor who used to be a huge fan of Auburn. So I actually thought about him this weekend and said, I know he's pretty sad. There's no doubt about that. But Auburn, got beat by the hands of Clemson. And SEC still looking strong this year.
Yeah.
Georgia goes on the road. They beat Notre Dame this past weekend.
That was a good game.
It was, and so the SEC still looks very strong. Of course, they've got conference plays starting up soon. Talk about the first week, South Carolina and North Carolina State. We talked about that at one point. South Carolina was at that game, and North Carolina State, they tried to get back into it, never held a lead, and didn't win the game either. South Carolina got the job done. In fact, I was at the game. A lot of our viewers may have been at the State-South Carolina game, and I have never heard a sporting environment so loud in my life when South Carolina ran to kick off the beginning of the game. They ran the kickoff back for a touchdown. It was the wildest, loudest environment I have ever been in. But South Carolina won that game. It certainly made the Southeastern Conference look really strong again this year. Of course, the ACC is still a strong conference.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about some upcoming games this week. Duke actually going to be hosting the Big 12's Baylor Bears.
Yeah.
Weird scenario. Baylor comes in 0-2. Duke comes in 2-0. Not something we likely expected because
No.
Baylor's traditionally a strong football
they
program.
are.
Does Duke get the job done this week at home in Durham?
I think they can do it. I think it's gonna be a really close game though, because like you said, Baylor has always been known as a good, strong football team, and but I do think Duke has improved over the years, and they've had decent seasons, and I think this one here will be a good one for them too.
Right.
Um,
So you got Duke winning this game.
yeah, Duke.
I'm going to agree with you. I thought we might disagree there, but I'm going to agree with you. I think Duke wins this game. It's going to be a close one. I agree 100%. Baylor goes 0-3, and a coach who just started this year at Baylor going to be on the hot seat, I think, after this game in Durham. Duke is the only team in the state of North Carolina right now. Oh, excuse me, Wake Forest. I apologize. I think Wake Forest is still undefeated. I could be wrong there. But Duke is the strongest football program in North Carolina right now. And talking about North Carolina, I just love this because I do not like the Tar Heels. The Tar Heels are 0-2. Let's celebrate, folks. Everybody in the studio give the Tar Heels a hand today.
I can't
We're
do that.
so glad the Tar Heels are doing so badly. So 0-2. They've had 2 home games, might I add. Love to throw that in there for all our Tar Heels fans. 0-2. They got beat by California in Chapel Hill. That was great. And then, of course, they thought they had a chance against Louisville, however you say it.
I say
And-
Louisville, but I probably get a lot.
yeah, well, of course, Louisville was obviously the expected team to win. Like it's going to be a close game. I love it when Carolina loses like this. They think they have a chance, and then wham, they get beat at home again, 0-2, and they're going to be on the road this weekend against Old Dominion in Virginia. Now, nothing would make me happier than for them to go and play a 1AA school. If they used to call it that, I don't know what they call it
Yeah, I
now, but
believe
a
it is.
sub FBS, whatever you want to call it.
FCS, I think.
Yeah, to go play one of those schools who's not in one of the Power 5 conferences and get beat and be 0-3. I mean, nothing would make my heart happier
I don't
than
think
that.
it's going to happen though.
No?
No, I don't think. I think North Carolina's going to win.
So-
And they played a good game against Louisville.
Yeah, they did.
And My uncle was disappointed. He's a North Carolina fan.
I'm
That's
sorry
why I
to hear
couldn't
that,
clap
yeah.
for, because he probably wouldn't like that. He wouldn't back me back over.
Well, that's the first time I ever actually exhibited a strong opinion on the show. I'm going to go against you. I would rather my prediction record on Tuesdays for college football be worse and wrong than to say Carolina's going to win. I'm going to go with ODU, the surprise at home against
All right.
Carolina. Carolina falls to 0-3. Let's talk about the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack got beat in the opening week. By the way, NC State. Can I get some? There we go. Yes. So NC State is 0-1 after the first week against the SEC team. South Carolina, who is now starting to move up in the ranks.
Yeah.
I think most people, AP poll, USA Today poll, look at South Carolina and they say this is a top 30 team. They're not in the top 25
No.
yet, but they're top 30. They're getting a lot of votes. So State loses that week. They're losing 20-10 at home to Marshall last week, and Dave Doran's his seat was so hot he had to get up. He screamed, and they finally did something. They won the game 37-20. This week they're back at home. They play Furman. What a strong game. Is State going to win this game, or is it going to be upset at home and Dave back on the hot seat?
I think State's going to pull that off. You don't really hear much out of Furman, so I've never heard them win very many games. But I know State, they can have, like I said, they'll have good games, but I think it's a big one of those good games.
Yeah, this is what Lee Corso calls a cupcake. And if you lose to a cupcake, things can get really, really ugly. So hopefully State won't do that as a Wolfpack fan. And I also have State winning at home against Furman. Of course, the following week, they're going to be going on the road to play Florida State.
Yeah.
Any early predictions there?
You know, I remember watching a few years ago Florida State and NC State, and that was a really good game. I can't remember which year it was. I want to say it was 2014. But that was a really good game where State actually won. I think NC State's going to need a lot of luck to beat Florida State. Then again, since the injury for Florida State's quarterback that happened at the Alabama game, he's out for the whole season. So it could balance it out and give State a chance.
I think so, yeah. But Florida State certainly the strongest contender going into that game. All right, folks, there it is. Russell, thanks for joining us in front of the camera tonight.
Yeah.
And certainly appreciate all you're doing for Live at 5 in the video division.
I'm happy to be here.
Certainly glad. Russell Parker, folks, executive producer of the Live at 5 program, the entire video division at the Richmond Observer. And folks, we appreciate him being in the studio tonight. And every Tuesday, we're going to bring your NASCAR report and your college football report. Russell Parker is going to be joining us. And later this fall, you're hearing it first live right here now. Later this fall, the Richmond Observer will be debuting its first ever weekly sports program, an hour long of local sports, college sports, professional sports. If you're a sports fan, you're not going to want to miss it. Coming out this fall.
I'm excited for that.
It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah. So, folks, be tuning in later. RichmondObserver.com. I'm going to have all the details about that show forthcoming. And, Russell, always a pleasure.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Russell Mania, folks, in studio. We will be right back after these messages.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion Ford for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Ford for 13 years.
1 whole year. 15 years. I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from our prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
Welcome back to Live at 5, and concluding tonight's sports is a look at the schedule this week for local sports. Richmond Lady Raiders volleyball will look to continue its historic start to the season, with play picking back up tonight as they host newly added SAC team 71st High School, currently 1-6 on the season and 0-5 in conference play. Junior varsity will serve things up at 5 p.m., followed by the varsity team at 6. Raider varsity and JV football are on their bye week and will return to action next week. And a reminder that our Athlete of the Week feature will begin tomorrow, and we will welcome in Altman Griffin from the Lady Raider volleyball team and Dante Miller from the football team as our Athletes of the Week. They'll be in studio tomorrow night with an exclusive interview with our managing editor, Kyle Pillar.
Today's 3-day weather forecast is brought to you by Harrington Funeral Home in Hamlet. Now that Irma is out of the way, Richmond County can expect no more showers for the next 3 days. Tomorrow's high will be 85 with temperatures dropping to 65 at night. Thursday will be 84 and Friday will be 86. There will still be some clouds in the sky, but nothing to be alarmed about.
And that's it for another edition of Live at 5. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow night, Wednesday, September 13th, for our midweek edition. And we'll be debuting a new segment. We talked about it earlier tonight, Athlete of the Week. Kyle Pillar, managing editor of the Richmond Observer, will be in studio for an exclusive interview of Altman Griffin, outside hitter for the Lady Raiders volleyball team, and also Dante Miller of the football team, the Richmond Raiders. They'll both be in studio tomorrow for an exclusive interview. We're certainly excited to have them. I'm Lance Jenkins.
And I'm Kelsey Rushing.
And we'll see you tomorrow night for another edition of Live at 5. So long.